The protesters that we've contacted, the pro-democracy lawmakers, the heads of one of the key political parties, particularly Demasitu, which is headed by Joshua Wong and Agnes Chow, all those indications are that they think it is too little too late, in the words of Joshua Wong. They feel that this is a concession. Yes, it's one of the 5 key demands that they've made right from the beginning, but it doesn't go nearly far enough in appeasing them. And I think there was an acceptance from the Chief Executive, Carrie Lam, that she needed to make some big concessions. This is only the second time that she's taken to the airwaves since this crisis blew up. The first time was very, very condemnatory, much tougher against the protesters. This time she was talking about dialogue, appealing to people, saying we all want to find a way out of this through dialogue. This is really damaging Hong Kong. It's hitting trade and business here. The latest figures come out show that it's the worst in a decade, and certainly the worst political crisis in many decades here. And so I think she went through the 5 demands that the protesters have insisted on. She has clearly made a big concession in withdrawing the bill, because up until now, over the last nearly 14 weeks now, she's refused to do that. She's absolutely said that she's suspended the bill, and then she said it's dead. That wasn't enough to stop the protesting. But the protesters have a number of other demands. For a start, it's now morphed into much more stronger claims and calls for universal suffrage. And she's indicated that there may be some discussions sometime in the future, but these can only be conducted in an atmosphere of calm, and that she appealed to Hong Kongers to be pragmatic about this. She said another, I think, what may be perceived as a partial concession. She said she's going to ask for independent experts from outside to come in and join the normal setup for police inquiry, because there's been lots of claims that the police have used excessive violence, lots of claims of police brutality and sexual intimidation of some of the female protesters that have been arrested. So that will be perceived as a concession, but I suspect not nearly enough. The protesters also ask for her to stop calling the protests, these pro-democracy protests, riots. And again, she said she seemed to offer some sort of concession by saying that she didn't always call them riots. The protesters also want all the demonstrators that have been arrested, there are nearly more than 1,000 of them, to be released, because they see them as political prisoners. And Carrie Lam again suggested that they would have to face normal police inquiry with evidence, and it would all go through the normal procedure. So I think a big turnaround by Carrie Lam. The first indications are that she hasn't gone nearly far enough.